Hello, and welcome back to the fourth of our Halloween Reacts episodes. It is perhaps my most ambitious costume yet, I'm sure Knick-Knack would agree. Overworked college student.
Bitch, please.
Go fuck off. I have 6 classes, ass butt. I am dying.
Oh.
That's fine. It wasn't there for that long. We're good. I mean, look, school is turning my hair gray!
Or you just went and got it dyed.
That's entirely fair. So who are we talking about today, Knick-Knack?
Today is a servant known as Hessian Lobo. Oh, wait. Sekhie is still there. Sekhie should not be there still.
Yeah. Let me tell you, this gave me some struggles in researching.
Yes, because it's a combination of a few different things, of which I had to give all individually. Do you want to go in the order I have here?
Yeah, let's go in the order you have here. So we're starting with the Headless Horseman, right? And well, I know that the reference, I'm pretty sure the reference Fate is making is to the character from Sleepy Hollow.
Yes, but he has existed in many.
I was gonna say,
folklore.
headless horsemen are mythical figures that have appeared in European folklore since the Middle Ages. Typically, they're either depicted as a figure on horseback carrying his head or missing his head and searching for it. In Ireland, you have the Dullahan, right? Which would be the most famous example of like a named version of this. Actually, fun fact, we see Dullahans in Durarara and 86. References to stuff we've done, well, kind of stuff we've done on the channel. Some stuff we haven't done on the channel yet. Also, famously, do you know who is a Dullahan in literature? Before Sleepy Hollow?
Isn't there a literary Dullahan in Sir Gawain and the Green Knight?
The Green Knight is a Dullahan. He picks up his head and rides away after Gawain lops it off. But speaking of the most common, we're going to touch on the mythology real quick of the Dullahan in Ireland and Scotland. So in Ireland, Dullahan means dark man, and it's a headless demonic fairy carrying his own head. He uses a whip of human spinal cords as his weapon of choice. And whenever he stops riding, he will call out the name of a person and they will immediately die. Meaning that the Dullahan is a symbol of death. And really the inevitability of death more so than like violent fucking death. Oh my god.
Just like what's about to happen to a kitten.
This kitten's about to be a fucking Dullahan. I swear to fucking god. Interestingly enough, there is a version of a Dullahan that was mentioned in a lot of a little bit more modern Irish folklore. I actually have the book it's mentioned in. It's in Irish Fairy and Folk Tales, as written primarily by authors from Ireland and that sort of thing. Including, I believe it's Yeats. I think it's Yeats. Yeats or Keats, I'm not sure. It's one of the two. I wasn't going to look through all the names listed in that book. And they mention a specific myth called the Coista Bodhar, something similar to that, who's a Dullahan who drives a black carriage. And the black carriage is the harbinger of death, often accompanied by a banshee, the announcers of death in family lines. Fun fact, there is actually a myth about a Scottish Dullahan, a chieftain to be named Ewan, who was decapitated in a clan battle at Glen Cainir on the Isle of Mull. And because he was decapitated in battle, he never became a chieftain, and he haunts the island without his head. But if we're talking about Legend of Sleepy Hollow, right, the 1820 novel, right, then we're talking about Headless Hessian of the Hollow. And the Hessian is a reference to
Air jail.
I'm about to have one kitten instead of 2. I'm about to have a stuffed kitten, in fact.
Air jail.
Is a reference to the Hessian troopers, which were German auxiliary troops who served the British in the Civil War. More specifically, the Headless Hessian of the Hollow is killed in the Battle of the White Plains in 1776, having his head blown off by an American cannonball. And while the remains of his shattered head were left on the battlefield in the story, the rest of him is buried in the Sleepy Hollow Dutch church cemetery. And so he searches for his head using a jack-o'-lantern in place of it in the story. He is the Headless Horseman.
All right. And if we're going to go ahead and move on to the second character in this Hessian Lobo.
Lobo, the king of Kurumpa. Now, this is interesting because this is technically a true story. So, Lobo did exist. His pelt is preserved at a museum. So is the pelt of Blanca, who we're going to get to in a second. So, Lobo, the king of Kurumpa, was a North American gray wolf, who is written about in the first story of Ernest Thomas Seton's 1898 book, Wild Animals I Have Known. It is a take on a true story. He is a gray wolf living in the Kurumpa Valley in the 1890s, and he and his pack, because of the settlers who have moved in, have been deprived of their typical prey of bison, elkhorn, and longhorn, and so they take to preying on the settlers' livestock, right? The animals that the settlers keep because there's nothing else for them to eat. And so the Cross L Ranch, the ranchers that he's stealing animals from, try to kill him by poisoning carcasses and leaving them out and setting traps, and he basically avoids them all. They just nothing happens. So Seton comes by, and he's offered by the ranchers £1,000 for the head of this Lobo wolf, right? And so Seton tries poison, and then the poison chunks of meat are gone the next day, and he thinks he's caught them, and then he finds them 2 days later covered in a pile of steaming wolf shit, showing the mockery of the wolves at his attempts. And for 4 months he tries more and more intricate traps, and it never succeeds, right? So then Seton realizes that he has a weakness. His mate, right, Blanca, a white wolf, and so they have Blanca killed. And when it happens, Lobo releases this howl that's so mournful, he becomes known for it. And it's so emotional that Seton says that he almost considered giving up his quest, right? Because of the grief that he had caused this it's almost like a noble competitor, right? I admire this wolf for outdoing me so often, and this feels like an underhanded blow. But in the end, he doesn't, and they set traps using Blanca's body, and that's used to capture Lobo at last. And Lobo, he cannot bring himself to kill him, though. And 4 days after he's captured, he dies because he refuses to eat. And then his pelt is preserved, so is Blanca's, at a museum. And Seton became an advocate of wolves from here on out for the rest of his life. At the time, wolves were very demonized by the settlers in America because they were just kind of seen as being in the way and being a danger. But he became an advocate of the wolves, and he's inspired people like David Attenborough and other nature documentary makers. What is happening?
I'm being attacked in the butt by the same cat that attacked your outfit.
We have our own little Lobo. So that's Lobo, King of Kurumpa.
The last one here is probably our least important one to talk about, but I'll go ahead and let you...
Yeah, so the last one is the protagonist of the 1897 H.G. Wells story, The Invisible Man. Dr. Jack Griffin. He's, a researcher in optics trying to increase human refractory index, which means, he wants humans to be able to see a broader spectrum of colors and visible light, basically. And he invents this thing, and it's basically opium plus some unknown drug, and he becomes invisible. And so, he covers his head in bandages and glasses and wears clothing and gloves so that he can be seen. But because he's unable to reverse this, he... In the movie portrayal of him, which is almost as famous as the book, he descends into insanity and criminality, but in the books he's written as already off his rocker quite a bit, so he's already insane in the books. And he becomes a villain, and he basically tries to get random people to work with him, and then meets a very sticky end in that eventually he's beaten to death, and his battered and bloody corpse becomes visible after he dies.
I wonder if this is the story that Morbius is based off of.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen Morbius. I don't know the
Scientist who
story.
experiments on himself and becomes a monster.
Yeah, but Hulk does that too.
True.
Look, Marvel and DC have a long history of people who experimented on themselves and became...
a monster.
Yeah. So, how does all this combine into a single person? Because I am very lost.
Very eclectic group of people here, ain't it?
They really did just go, I'll take a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of that.
Do you want the design first, or do you want the who decided to do this first?
I feel like I want to hear who decided to do this, because I want to know what person went and found source material from an H.G. Wells novel, a set of nature short stories by Ernst Seton, and then just medieval literature,
So,
but also
I don't know who
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow?
I don't know who the real life writer of the story was, but the person in lore who decided to mash these three together is a certain professor whose name starts with a J and ends with an Ames Moriarty.
I mean, you know what? Reasonable. Respect. I get it. 100%. Understandable. Have a day. We respect Moriarty on this channel. We respect his opinions. We respect his ideals. We respect his decisions.
I just hit a button. Are we still recording?
We should be. What did you hit?
Something on this side over here?
Okay. F9 is the stop recording button.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll assume we're recording until we're not.
Oh, that would be so annoying if we weren't.
Alright, so Hessian Lobo.
Oh. That, you know what? You know what? Here's the thing, right? I fucking love this. But this is not what my head was imagining.
What was your head imagining?
You know? I don't think that my head added those three people together and came up with an image.
Oh, look, he's got your chain.
Ooh, chain.
Actually, that might be the chains that were holding Lobo.
Yeah, it's probably because he was caught by all four paws in chain traps. So those are the chains holding Lobo. He looks so fucking... That is the look of someone who has seen shit. You know what I mean? Like that fucking wolf has seen shit.
So good old Hessian Lobo here is actually two classes in story, thus my hint last time. Initially in story, he's known as the Rider of Shinjuku. Okay. At a certain point in the story, though, he begs James Moriarty to merge him with Dr. Jack Griffin, who hates humanity.
Okay. And
he became an Avenger servant, known as the Avenger of Shinjuku.
Oh, we haven't had an Avenger yet, have we?
Avenger, and have we done any Avengers yet?
I don't think we have.
You might not have.
This might be my first Avenger.
Yeah, what an Avenger.
Captain America, the first Avenger.
Let's go through here, go through
Hessian
the different...
Lobo, the first Avenger. I mean, look, here's the thing, right? This art is fucking awesome, right? Because you've got the Headless Horseman in, like, a vaguely historically inspired kind of, like, outfit, and you've got Lobo with the shackles on his feet in certain artworks, which are a reference to Lobo. I don't understand how Jack is included here, but I'm sure you'll explain it to me.
Yeah, he's not really included in the design.
I will say, I'm a little unhappy that they didn't go with the whip made of human spinal cords.
Well, again, I did specifically tell you Legend of Sleepy Hollow Headless Horseman.
Yeah, so understandable. Also, his, like, scythe blade things are pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, they're pretty fucking cool. And they look like the sort of swords that are designed specifically to take heads off, which is, I'm sure, the point.
So, this servant here is actually closer as far as servants go, and this is something you pointed out. Of the three of them, the only real one is Lobo.
Yeah.
Hessian and the Invisible Man are not real.
Yeah, they're stories.
So, in that sense, Lobo is actually the primary heroic spirit here.
Okay.
Hessian is just there to increase Lobo's power by adding basically an extra pair of arms on top of him.
Okay.
And the Invisible Man was added in later, and that's what made him an Avenger, and that just gives him the ability to go invisible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there is a way to use this on... Okay. That makes sense. I do really like this design, I have to say. I'm a really big fan of, like, wolves in mythology and shit like that, because it always looks so fucking epic. Like, this fucking wolf looks like it's stepping out of the fucking underworld to, like, reap your goddamn soul. I love it.
Actually...
Very Halloween-y.
Hessian and Lobo are the ones primarily in the driver's seat, but Lobo Lobo's goal that Hessian wholeheartedly supports is trying to reunite Lobo with his pack. Probably the descendants of his pack.
Yeah, that's actually really fucking sweet. And it ties back to in his story how he literally died from a broken heart. Like, he was so sad. Oh, because, like, the pack of a wolf would have been, like, his children and his children's mates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Aww. Aww.
So it's
also good on Hessian for being such a supportive helper, you know?
And most of the time he's just an old man that can't find his head.
Is there any... I assume they don't use a jack-o'-lantern, although I wish they did.
No, they do not.
Okay.
I'm going to collapse that so you can see a little bit more.
Okay, so I get... The Avengers, obviously, from you said, from Jack.
Yes.
And I'm sure you'll explain Avenger to me at one point, but... So, Oblivion Correction... Okay. Self-replenishment. Transparency, I see that. Yeah. Fallen Demon.
Just makes them very, very durable.
Yeah. Yeah, Fallen Demon's fun, considering that, like, in traditional Irish mythology, the Dullahan is a headless demonic fairy. Right? So you got the whole demon coming in there.
Now, you did bring up that the Dullahan is a symbol often associated with death.
Yeah.
One of the skills here is called One Cloaked in Death, which is a reference to Hessian being similar to the Dullahan.
Okay.
Or being a Dullahan.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes sense.
Then he's a dog, animal communication, of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you want a little bit on Avengers, I guess, because you brought that up.
Yeah, because we haven't really met an Avenger yet.
So, Avengers are servants that are just... They're like a step above Berserkers, where Berserkers are fueled by madness. Avengers are fueled by pure and raw hatred.
I can respect that.
And that is what motivates them. It's what fuels them. If they're an Avenger, their entire life is just this burning passion to... Just that burning fuck everybody passion.
I can respect that.
I figured you would. I've seen you drive.
Look. I may not be an Avenger in everyday life, but put me behind the wheel of a car in any situation and I am the one who's saying, come what may, still humanity shall be annihilated.
Yeah.
Like, Knick-Knack is well aware of this, but I have, like, zero road chill. Like, I'm not passive-aggressive about it, like, to the other cars. Like, I'm not, like, braking in front of other cars and cutting in randomly, but I am verbally passive-aggressive and outright abusive to other cars on the road, because people are such fucking morons when they're driving. It just irritates me, and I have no chill about it.
Yeah, and really, the Avenger like class and the transparency are just about the only things we really get from Dr. Jack Griffin, the Invisible Man. That's why I was kind of like, you can go over him, but he's not all that important here.
Well, still. Also, our last good pupper was Romulus, and now we have another pupper, and it's another white pupper.
Pupper? Romulus?
Yeah, Romulus had the white pup.
Oh,
the white wolf. Yeah, pupper. Yeah. Pupper.
Yeah, this is...
We have pupper.
I will note, since you in the last part brought up size, Hessian is fucking... Or Lobo is fucking big.
Good.
Let's see if I think I already showed... Did I bring up... Yeah, I brought up the sprites last time.
Good.
Yeah, this guy... You'll see him when we look over animations. I'll see if I can get him next to some other servants, but...
I mean, vaguely, I assume that he's, like, basically about the size of a Clydesdale horse. Even bigger? Is this like Ivan level?
Not quite Ivan level, but like he dwarfs a good amount of servants. Like you would not want to see this thing coming at you.
Where's our height measurement? Hold on.
It should be down here.
It should be down here. It should. Okay. Height, weight. Oh, Sans head. Oh, so that's for Hessian. Sans height. Okay, 181. The Wolf King is greater than 3 meters in length. Oh, okay, so that's pretty big. That's pretty big. Like that's like 10 feet long.
You would not want to see this thing barreling down on you.
I think you misconstrued just how much I would want to absolutely cuddle the shit out of this pupper. Fam, if I saw this barreling down on me, I would throw myself at him to cuddle this pupper.
His NP here, and this is a familiar word here.
I was gonna say
Scharfrichter.
You want to scroll so I can see the
name?
The NP. Yeah. So it's Frerin Scharfrichter, which means something in German. Yeah, so we've been reading Freren on the channel. Freren means cold. Cold or that sort of thing. But I don't know what... You know what? Give me 2 seconds.
So the NP is in many ways...
No, hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. So, Freren means, like, cold, sort of thing, like freezing, frozen, or cold. Scharfrichter is an old German word meaning executioner, or used to refer to executioners.
Yeah, so the NP is actually sourced primarily from the Hessian part of Hessian Lobo.
Okay.
And this is sort of like a similar situation to Guy Bolg, where Guy Bolg reverses cause and effect so that your heart is impaled. This reverses cause and effect to make it incredibly easy for your head to be removed.
I mean, to be fair, Hessian head blown off by an American cannon.
Yeah. So then Hessian, either with the hook in his mouth or with the hook in or the hook in Hessian's hand or in Lobo's mouth, brings that hook down upon his enemy, whose neck is now very, very removable.
10 out of 10. I've always wanted my opponents to have easily removable heads.
Let's go ahead and pull up the animation here. See if we can... I hope this has some next to some other servants. I don't think it does. I'll see if I can find an example. Oh, you can see him next to the enemy here.
Yeah, he's much bigger. Okay. Slice.
Show a few of these here.
It's very spider leg.
Yeah.
Like,
while we're sitting here,
slashy, stabby,
I also want to
stabby.
know it's a good servant to end on for Halloween, because Sleepy Hollow is a story very often associated with Halloween.
It is! The legend of Sleepy Hollow, the story of Ichabod Crane, like, it is intrinsically linked with Halloween. Like, so many symphony orchestras do a legend of Sleepy Hollow around Halloween Town. I think I remember, I must have been 6 or 7 years old. This is one of my earliest memories. But my dad was a French horn player in orchestras, and I remember when I was like 6 or 7 getting dressed up and going to the theater about on Halloween to see his orchestra perform The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the full kind of musical arrangement. And I remember because during the intermission in the middle of the playing, I went on stage to hang out with him and meet the other musicians, and he gave me his French horn and let me try to blow into it. And let me tell you, when you are 6, you do not have enough lung capacity to make a French horn make any noise other than a loud fart. And it's very loud, so like I make this noise and automatically every head in the auditorium turns towards me. And the French horn's like half of me. It's like literally bigger than half of me, and I'm just like, and it's like, like, what the fuck? But I remember it was The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
All right, so.
The Howl of Morning.
I think they're using Hessian Lobo's NP on Hessian Lobo.
Yeah, I think they were. That's amazing. Aww. I do like the nice howl at the beginning of that.
Alright, so let's go into the Bond scenes
Very
here.
Thematic.
Oh, and some of the others.
Oh, Freezing Executioner. We should have just fucking...
Yeah.
I'm a dumbass.
Oh, one thing I absolutely need to show you is Lobo Cop on here.
Lobo Cop? Fuck
there is a
Lobo
special
Cop.
sprite for Hessian Lobo. This might be it. No. I gotta want... Do they include it here?
Is it one of those? He got a little wee-woo on his head. He's got a wee-woo. So, like, technically that is a jack-o'-lantern head.
These are, like, the special sprites here. So,
ooh, nice.
yeah, that's Lobo Cop.
The wee-woo head.
I think there's actually a Sprite version that has that as well, but I can't find it right now.
That's glorious. That's glorious. I love the wee woo.
The backstory of that is he was just serving as a cop for a prison that was being run by Meb.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I remember the Meb prison. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Open them all.
Okay. We'll get...
Open them all. You know what he reminds me a little bit of art-wise? Okami.
I could see that.
It's kind of like this stylization of wolves with like, you know, just the way it's drawn. It's really epic. I love it. Beyond the wilderness. Oh, that's a reference to the wild animals I have known. There's the... Oh. Oh, that was an image of Blanca. The comforting feel of the earth, the wind in my ears, my beloved bounding about as if she were dancing. Oh, wait, go down. I didn't finish. I'm thankful to whoever it was that brought me back. Oh, you know what this makes me feel like and reminds me of? In terms of modern media? Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. This is where I belong. You might want to move on before I start singing that song, because I will keep going. It's so cute.
That, I don't, I'll
That's
check
not
who that
Merlin, is it?
Give me a minute.
Or Enkidu from Babylonia?
Give me a minute, because I don't, that's neither of them. But
Oh, okay. Never mind then. As long as it's not spoiled, I still want to read the text and shit.
I'm trying to figure out who that is, but I don't...
Does it matter if it's not spoiled? The comments will tell you.
Okay, no, yeah, never mind. You were right about something.
Oh, is it Merlin?
No,
or Enkidu?
Enkidu.
Enkidu. I have seen Babylonia. Okay, wait, go back up to the art, though, because I didn't get a good look at it before you started going down. That's cute. Did the pupper. Such a good pupper. Stop pulling up my fucking computer feed. Who's such a good pupper? Pupper. Okay. Yeah. Just a chill summer one. Oh, the advance apace.
This is the Valentine's.
Okay. He just wanted to run. He just wanted to dash through a wide, gassy field. Grassy. Fuck.
Yeah.
Aww. That's nice. That's cute. These seem really sweet, like all of them so far. Like this just genuinely feels like a really kind of like poignant servant. You know what I mean? Aww. Okay, that's epic. Street of Eternal Slumber. The howl echo across the high and faraway sky. Oh. Why are these all like heart jerkers? I swear to fucking God. Like half of them have just been like... make my heart go... Puppers! Are those Shiro Inus?
Those are a bunch of different dog breeds. I think many Shiba Inus are there.
You're right. There's some Shiba Inus, and I think I see a golden retriever, and there's like a big Doberman-esque dog out in the... Oh my fucking God.
This is from a recent event that was just built around all the dog-themed servants.
Puppers! Puppers! Freedom, here is freedom, endlessly wide, endlessly far away. Let's run. Let's sprint together with the wind, chasing after the sweet scent of the grasses. I honestly feel that because dead ass, the second only to the smell of like old book paper is like freshly cut grass and like a cool breeze. Oh my God, look at the puppers.
There's a lot of puppers there. I felt I had to blow.
There's so many of them. Yeah, there's the Shiba Inu and there's the golden retriever, and that's something. Isn't that one
Doberman?
of those? No, that's not Doberman. It's the what do they use for police work?
Oh, I don't know.
Comments know what I'm talking about. Oh, they're so cute. There's so many puppers. I think this little one in the front is a corgi. Oh. Oh, precious.
So yeah, that's Hessian Lobo. I don't have a lot on them. No extra forums here, but no arcade.
Damn, that would have been a cool arcade. I have to admit.
It cuts off at the end of part 1 so far for now, so we don't have much from the Shinjuku chapter, or if they're even doing the same chapter.
Have we met another servant from Shinjuku?
Moriarty.
Okay, yeah. I was like, that seems familiar. Oh, so much pupper. There's so many puppers. There's a pupper.
All right, so actually, to check who's next.
Hessian Lobo is fun, honestly, because we've had servants where I've had to look up like multiple things to get together.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we did Paul Bunyan, I had to look up like a couple other people, and like it makes sense now, right? Like for some reason in my head I was just like Headless Horseman, a wolf, an invisible man. This does not combine, but like. Headless Horseman, except the horse is a giant wolf and it turns invisible. That actually makes logical sense. Like, I don't know why my brain didn't just think wolf version of a Dullahan. But no, my brain was like, no comprende. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
And then when it all comes together, it's a lot more straightforward than you would have thought.
Yeah, like there's nothing real fucky-wucky with it. It's very simple, actually.
It's giant terror dog with the Headless Horseman riding on top of him instead of a horse.
You think the Headless Horseman likes petting all the puppies?
Oh, probably.
My God. Good for him. Good for him. I would die. I would totally be the Headless Horseman if I got to play with the puppies.
So
100%.
Yeah.
100%. New canon, those are all his descendants. He found them. He is now running with them in the plains, in the faraway plains, chasing the scent of fresh grass.
I actually think all of those dogs are canonic. Like, there's an actual story chapter that includes all of those dogs. Or it's not true, there's an event in their part of the story.
10 out of 10. Entirely valid. Most valid story chapter. Ever.
So, do we want to... For our next, since we're going into another month, do we want to introduce the theme for next month instead of a straight up hint?
What? There's no hint for next month. But our theme for next month is NaNoWriMo.
National Novel Writing Month.
Yeah. November, everybody. So, like, if you're a writer or if you're not a writer, NaNoWriMo. You don't have to be like publishing your stories. You can just write. Right, Knick-Knack?
What are you talking about? I finished plenty of the novels and didn't just stop 40,000 words in.
Yeah, and I know NaNoWriMo isn't as big a thing in some other countries in the world, but it's a pretty big thing in the U.S.
It's a big online event, at least.
Yeah, and I know at least in middle school, my teachers had us do NaNoWriMo both years that I was in middle school. I didn't do it once we were in high school because we had other things to do, but like, it's just one of those things that at least as far as I'm aware of, a lot of people in the U.S. hear about or participate in at least once. Usually school forces them to, but it's also a great way for like new writers to get like their time to shine. Because there are winners and there are prizes, and I think the winner gets a book deal for the story they write. Like, it gets published.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's what the winner gets. But yeah, so the theme for next month is NaNoWriMo.
Now, is Knick-Knack actually going to write a novel in that 1 month time? Absolutely not. Knick-Knack will be lucky if he finishes his current novel in the next 1 month time.
But with that being said, I hope all of you all have a spooky Halloween. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.